Thank you very much for coming. I'm very delighted and, to be honest, a little bit frightened to be here. Delighted because it's really an honor for me to be here, but frightened because, although I'm very talkative by nature, I'm not used to public speaking like this, especially when cameras are watching me. So if at any moment you feel or you notice that my breath is going down but is not coming up very easily, please be patient with me. I'm doing my best. So I hope I can be fine. I hope so. To begin with, please allow me to offer my special thanks to the organizers of this conference. You have no idea how many people are working day after day so that some people can get together and exchange views and ideas and experiences. So, thank you. Several million Iranians are forced to leave their motherland. Some say 4 million, some say 5, some say 6. But for our purpose, let's say 4 million. And I did a very Google search, and Mr. Wikipedia told me that their combined net worth, these people who have left Iran, their combined net worth is $1.3 trillion. Then you can add to this all the other sufferings that are going on, human rights issues, and so some die on the way, some, a lot of things are going on. But the financial things is $1.3 trillion. And this number is based on the statistics released in 2006. And I'm sure that after the 2009 election in Iran, which probably you have heard of, this number has increased significantly. And you can guess how many more millions are out there from all other nationalities. But for our case, let's say 4 million. These 4 million people, like you, they had their own friends and relatives and families and properties, professions, culture, language, food, lifestyle, and everything. And they didn't have to learn a new language in order to go shopping, or say Pepsi, s'il vous plaît, or Je m'appelle Hassan, or new language. So, and they didn't have to establish themselves afresh in a new society. They had been living there generations after generations, so everybody knew everybody there, and they didn't have to establish themselves among new people. Of course, it is rewarding to live among new friends and to make new friends, to learn about new culture, new languages. It is rewarding, nobody's denying that, but not by force. Especially when you have to say goodbye to your motherland forever. This is a very, very costly experience or journey. Now the question is, why such expensive journeys continue to happen? And what do you think are the solutions? Can we do something to help them help themselves so that they can stay there without having to leave their motherland? And in our case, prevent $1.3 trillion from being wasted somehow. Or maybe we prefer to sit here and with big smiles on our face receive more and more refugees day after day. This so-called Arab Spring is massively scaring me. I hope I'm wrong, but if things continue to go like this, I can see from now that crowds of new refugees are coming this way in the near future, and from Egypt, Libya, and other countries in that region. And to be honest, I'm very worried about the future of the pyramids in Egypt. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Now that we know the world is like a big village, and everything that happens in Greece, for example, affects us here in Ireland, and vice versa, is it wise to sit and say, it's not my business what's happening in other places? Don't you think we have a role to play? I remember one day I was in China. I spent about 9 years in China as a refugee with my family. One day I had a horrible headache, and a Chinese friend visited us, and you all know the Chinese are very good at acupuncture things and giving massage things and those kinds of things. And when she saw me in pain, and she asked me to go wash my feet. And I did that, and then she sat me in a chair and she started massaging my feet. And I started laughing, and she said, why are you laughing? I said, you know what, something is wrong. I have pain here, but you are giving massage here. Something is wrong, it's not very logical. And she said, now I know why Iran is still in trouble, because you are not looking for the roots of your problems. It is true that you have pain here, but the main source of your problem may not be here necessarily. It may be here, which I'm taking care of. It may be here in your hands, I will take care of it later. And all these areas, so they are all connected. It is true that you have pain here, but the source may be somewhere else. Now, where do you think the main roots of our problems are? What are these roots? Don't you think my problem is somehow connected to yours, and vice versa? The first time I thought of writing a book was in the early 80s, when, as a schoolboy, I, in fear and despair, witnessed how the people of my village were brutally suppressed for their political ideals. Among them were 4 of my brothers. At the suggestion of a close relative, I started a diary. In the beginning, I wasn't thinking of keeping track of what was going on in the country. I was just making notes of the events in my own family, how I felt being the only child left and all my brothers scattered. But our village was small. Everybody knew everybody else by name and even knew which animals belonged to whom. And you can say that my village is a kind of microcosm of our whole village. Everything is related to everything. Most everybody was somehow related, if not directly, then by marriage, and if not by marriage, then by cooperation formed by mutual property boundaries. So my diary evolved to include others. Friday. Today, the 3rd victim of the war arrived in a box, and the school authorities took us out again to the local cemetery to accompany the other villagers in the burial ceremony. Wednesday. Last night, the Islamic government forces secretly buried Behdad in one corner of the cemetery. He was executed for supporting the Mujahideen. At dawn, when these forces returned to their base, a group of unknown people attacked and killed one of them in what is said to be a retaliatory operation. Sunday. This morning, as I was leaving for the local bakery to buy bread, I found a night letter on the stairs of our veranda. In the paper distributed by the Mujahideen organization, I read that Daryush, my oldest brother, along with 8 others, was killed in an ambush set by the Islamic Revolutionary Guards. I cried all the way to my uncle's bakery. My diary disappeared one day, but the idea of writing a book persisted. During university years, I started writing the book, but although I knew how to begin it, I was not so sure how to end it or which language to write it in, English or Persian. If Persian, where could I publish it then? How many people would get the chance to read it? I chose English, but my English skills weren't up to such a Herculean task, and still it is not up to that task. I put it aside and didn't pick it up again until I was living in China. And here is the book. It is a kind of city scan or cultural scan or social scan of a society and authorities. In this book, you can see how a society seems to be up and running normally at the surface. Yet, when you look at it more closely, you will notice that it is not functioning properly. Something is wrong, and maybe many things are wrong. I deeply hope this book will give its readers an opportunity to learn from our mistakes. Whether you like it or not, life is very short, unfortunately. And we don't have enough time to experience everything one by one on our own. So let us learn from each other's mistakes and experiences. Thank you.